Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hello to my panelists. My name is Muhammad Aiman Shafiq bin Rahman. As a student of Faculty of Mechanical Engineering that taking the subject MEC601 which is a final year project 1. So today I would like to presenting my proposal a fabrication of water operate power generator based on spring mechanism a prototype. This topic has been slightly different with the previous topic, which is the fully power generated. But the concept of the project is still the same because it wanted to produce the water operate power generator. So my supervisor is Dr. Nor Afifah Binti Yahaya. The project summary that have been found out, which is we wanted to use the water as a potential energy to generate the generator that operate by the spring mechanism. This concept I wanted to use a free energy system. Then the energy storing capacity of the water as the gravity pulls into the reservoir tank is used to generate a free energy. The prototype of water operate power generator will be fabricated based on the design and analysis have been done. Usually the analysis that have been doing manual calculation for the deflection of the spring, the speed of the gear and pinion, the power supply that can be delivered by the generator, uh, and also how much load water need to be used to generate electricity in this generator. In this introduction, the water power operate by generator are usually utilized by the free energy, which is I have become out to use the water that can be producing the electrical very efficient and fast. The goals are to find out more efficient way to find out how to resolve the studying session in our country by detailing it using the spring recognition and producing the prototype rather than using the full and coal as a power supply that been used now. This prototype are usually to focusing on the charging station for the hybrid electrical vehicles and also the electricity vehicles. So the first literature review that I have been come out is a DC generator. Uh, from the research at the lab board, have been found out that the considering need the voltage charge usually at a 12 voltage battery. Generator has been permanent magnet DC usually at a 800 RPM with the 24 volt. The input drive to the motor that be drawn by the output generator. Then the mechanical energy can be producing the electricity by the windmill, solar energy, water power, thermal power, and also the wind power that been obtained and convert into the DC current by the DC generator. The chosen of the DC generator usually because of the pre-assembly, simple and having a lower RPM. When it is comparing with the AC alternator that been the best chosen by the lab board to be to produce direct current and charging battery without any alteration. The next review that I have been found out is a AC generator. Usually the AC generator can be generate additional electricity. Usually the free energy generator using a flywheel consists the fact that it will be capable to produce more energy without any additional machinery. The next review that I will find out also flywheel and micro hydro power plant. Usually the capacity there for this both of the power plant are using a 370 watts is a similarity with a cost 0.5 horsepower. Usually this flywheel and micro hydro power plant have been generated by the belt and pulleys to form a transmission train that will be generates the electrical generators two more dense times from the rotational speed. Then usually a permanent generator of magnets is safe rather than the IC alternator. If it just relate to the rotation of the rotor, magnetic field additional strength is doesn't have, and also it can be supplying immediate power. For the next review is about EV charging station and also the battery energy storage system that being called as a BESS. EV charging station has been separated into three groups, which is the residential hydraulical domestic chargers, off-street, and also the durable charge. Usually, the spaces that can be places of the charging station are the the fuel station, parking, and office, and also the home itself. Usually, the best is able to calculate its charging power from 0 kilowatt hour to 4,000 kilowatt hour. Next, the gear and pinion. Usually, the spare gear have a strong mechanical properties such as lubricant, cannot free, less noise, very high weight strength, and also resistant with the corrosion. Usually, the failure of the gear because of the voltage variables have been increasing by the resonant oscillation of complex mechanical device in multiples and gearbox of various system. The maximum stress that can be produced by this gear is 4.852 times 10 power of 6 Newton meter per square, and the minimum stress of this per gear is 7,882.5 Newton meter per square, which is the sphere gear is made by the stainless steel. But for the maximum strain that have been produced are 1.692622 times 10 negative 5, and the minimum strain that have been produced is 8.162727 times 10 negative 7. The problem statement that have been come out from this project are the problem of the charging station for the EV and HEV cars are not using often in our country. Usually because of the EV and HEV cars are not demanding in this country because it's affected because of the charging station are limited. Usually the charging station are located in the town and also not in the not in the village. Then we wanted to use this project by using the water to producing the electricity. For that, the generator need to be running with the water to producing the electricity. Then the problem that can become out how how the water can be generate the electricity in this generator. The objective that have I been find out in this project are to calculate the power generated by the water operate generator based on spring mechanism, and to fabricate the water operate power generator based on spring mechanism. Lastly, wanted to test and prove the concept. The scope of this project that I have been find out is I wanted to this project have been studies how the spring mechanism can be supplying the electricity along with the water. Then the achieve must be to show that the project can be supplying electricity. Usually, I wanted the DC generator the DC motor can be run around 100 to 300 RPM that can be producing about 30 to 80 watts. Then for the second phase that been doing the fabrication of the generator by using the equipment of the workshop, and also I wanted to testing and carry out how the operation of the generator on the spring mechanism and the performance of this generator by using the water. In this methodology, the flowchart that I have been done is how the water operate power generator have been done. First of all, I need to find out the calculation of the water operate power generator, which is I need to know how much the power can be delivered by the generator. Then need to be developed the CAD model of the water operate power generator, which is I wanted to know how the design and also the shape of the generator. This CAD model in have been doing in the Katia. Then the arrangement of water operate power generator usually wanted to list the item, equipment that need to be used to fabricate the power generator, and also how much time that need to be done this generator. Then the fabrication of the water operate power generator need to be fabricated in the workshop. Then after the fabrication, The experiment need to be test to the water power operate power generator to find out how much the power delivery can be supplying the generator that can be comparing with the manual calculation. In this methodology, I have been find out the formula and calculation that need to be used in the water operate power generator. First of all, I need to find out the load of the water. The load of the water being be considering in this tank. So I need to find out the volume equal to length times fill water times width. This is the volume that water that fill in the tank. Next, from my research, I have been find out is 1 liter is equal to 1 kilogram. So, if wanted to change from the volume to the into the liters, need to calculate that the liters equal to volume times 1000. Next, to find out the mass of water in this tank, that I need to do is total mass equal to mass of water plus 20 kilogram. 20 kilogram is referring to my reservoir tank that have been as a estimation mass. Next, the mass need to be changed to the load, which is need to that is need to be reconsidering as a force equal to mass times wisdom 9.81 to be changed to the Newton. The next calculation that I need to be find out is a calculation of the springs. The calculation of the spring that can be used is 2, which is K equal to G times D power of 4 divided by capital D power of 3 times with N, and also K equal to F divided by X. From this calculation have been run out that K is a stiffness of spring, G is a shear modulus, small d is a wire diameter of spring, capital D is the outer diameter of spring, and also N is a mean diameter of the spring. For the second equation is a K is reference to the stiffness of the spring. F is a force that we occur by the load of the water. X is a deflection of the spring. So for the next calculation that I need to find out is a speed maturation of gear and pinion. So this is a specification of gear and pinion that I have been find out in the brochure. So the speed ratio that I need to find out is a T2 over T1 equal to N1 over N2. So that can be concluded. N2 is the speed of the pinion, T2 is the number of teeth of the pinion, T1 is the number of teeth of gear, and N is the speed of the gear. So from this specifications, the name of the symbol have been mistaken little bit in the proposal, but I have been referring in the this slide. After find out the speed of the gear and pinion, I would like to find out the value of the torque, which is T equal to F times R. T is a torque, equal to F is a force, and R is a radius or perpendicular distance. So the value of the power electrical produced will be P equal to 2 times pi times speed of pinion times torque divided by 60. But for the kilowatt per hour per day, can be conclude that power times with 24 hours divided by 1000. In my proposal have been mistaken, which is I have been put a 60 instead of 1000. So the correct is in this slide. So next is the design of the project that can be shown that the figure in 1 and 2. So the water will be going into the reservoir tank, and then the spring will up and go down, and then it will be generate the pinion rack and gear to move to move and will be supply the kinetic energy to the DC motor to be generate electricity. After the water will be going inside the reservoir tank, it will be going to out of the water when the to make sure the operation will be circulate. So next, for the expectation result that have been come out, is the RPM that we will be producing by the pinion is 160 RPM. The torque on the pinion is 0.48234 Newton meter. The torque that been produced from the water operate power generator are 3.85875 Newton meter. And the power that can be supplying towards the storage battery or EV and HEV is 64.65 watts. This one day we can be producing 1.5516 kilo hour per day. So from this calculation have been found out by using the spring mechanism is one spring. So this is the diagram chart of planning of my project, which is it will be started from this first semester until the next semester. So that's all from me. Thank you for listening of my final year project 1 presentation. If my panel wanted to give a comment or having a question, would like to email me or comment in the section below. Thank you to my panels.